All right. Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me. Pardon. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and we'll start standing at the top of your mat. Take a moment. Adjust your footing so that you have as much spread between your toes as possible. You can shift your weight a little back and a little forward, maybe a little side to side. Engage your legs, your glutes. Lift your sternum up out of your pelvis. Take a second, pull your shoulder blades together and send your fingertips long as you lift your head up. And then notice how you feel as you're standing. If you set an intention when you practice your yoga, you can go ahead and do that now. On your next inhale, reach both of your arms up overhead. On your exhale, pull your hands to your heart, send your butt back. Bend your knees as much as you need to fold over your legs, let your head hang loose. Take a big breath into your back. Exhale, release it slowly. Breathe in deeply through your nose, hold it in at the top. Open your mouth. Let it go. Halfway lift with your chest, your head up off of your legs. Look a little forward or underneath your nose. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine forward. And exhale, plant your hands to the ground. Step back to plank pose. Engage your legs in your plank pose. Lift your shoulder blades up, scoop your tailbone down, hold and breathe. You want your hands right underneath the center of your shoulder, where your shoulders are the meatiest. One more big breath in, look a little forward, exhale. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my knees down for this first time, because I did like 140 push-ups yesterday, and my arms aren't gonna support me for a full lower. Look a little forward, bend your elbows straight, back and lower down to the ground. From there, with your hands underneath your shoulders, put your forehead down to the ground. Have your toes flat, so untucked. Roll your shoulder blades away from your ears and then hug your elbows in tight around your body. Engage your glutes and lift your head up. Look a couple of inches out in front of you and just turn the muscles in your upper back on. Hang out and breathe here for a few rounds of breath. Exhale, lower, put your forehead down to the ground, slide your arms out, palms down. Roll your shoulder blades on your back, and then lift your palms up off of the ground, engage your legs. Hold your palms up, like you're reaching the back of your hands up to the ceiling, and then pulse up for 10. Good. Reach your arms down by your side with your palms up toward the ceiling, your thumbs in toward your body. Roll your shoulders on your back.
Push your hips into the ground and lift your arms up off of the ground. Stretch your fingers down toward your feet and pulse your palms up toward the ceiling for 10. If your shoulders roll back forward toward the ground, reset them onto your back.
And then last, this time, reach your arms forward. You can go as narrow as a straight line, or you can go a little bit wider, like a Y shape. Thumbs up though toward the ceiling, regardless of the width of your arms.
Head still down. Hips into the ground. And lift your arms up and pulse them up for 10. Keep them up. And then plant them underneath your shoulders.
Press up to all fours. And back to child's pose. You can have a wide arm stance, wide knee stance in child's pose, or things can be more compressed. Up to you. On your inhale, roll forward, tabletop position into cat. Round your upper back, tuck your tailbone down, drop your chin down. Then cow, inhale, look up, sway your back, engage the muscles in your back. Cat, breathe out. Inhale for cow. Exhale back to cat. Inhale for cow. And on your next breath out, tuck your toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Look forward between your hands, breathe in, and then step yourself forward between your hands, fold over your legs with a deep bend in your knees. Nod your head yes a couple times, shake your head no. And then slowly roll yourself up to stand. When you get to the top, reach both of your arms up on your breath in. On your exhale, cactus your arms, rotate your pinkies forward, your thumbs back. Rotate the bottom of your arms forward and the tips of your fingers back, and then lift your chest up more. If you want more than that, you can shift your weight into your heels. You can drop your head back. Inhale, lift all the way up, reach tall. Exhale your hands to your heart, press your hips back. Deeply bend your knees, forward fold. Half lift on your breath in. Plant your hands, step to plank. Plank on your inhale. Let's go modified side plank. Drop your left knee underneath your left hip, and then you're going to pivot your foot behind you. Extend your right leg long and put your heel down to the ground, and then stack your right side up over your left side. So, thank you, Siri. Reach your right arm up on your breath in, and then on your exhale, extend your right arm long forward with your palm down to the ground. Cactus your top arm and look up on your breath in. Exhale, put your right hand back down to the ground. Swing your right leg out to the side, directly to the right. And then sit your left hip back towards your left heel until you feel, I'm like out to the side, right? Right out to the side. Your leg can really be in any orientation. Your toes can be pointing anywhere. You just want to feel a stretch somewhere, maybe to your inner thigh area. So adjust as needed. I'm going to stretch. Is it stretchy's time or is it kill things time? Go kill things then. Very good. Bring your hands back out in front of you. Rock your weight into your hands and slide your right knee back, but take both of your knees wide. So if my knees were directly underneath my hips, now I'm going to go mat width-ish distance. Cow pose big time, and then walk your hands forward and drop your chest down. Depending on how far your mat is out in front of you, the edge of it, you can grab sometimes your mat and sort of push it away with your hands to get your chest dropped a little bit further down. And then roll yourself all the way forward onto your belly. I took my legs wide while I did that. You can go ahead and do that too. Prop yourself up on your forearms. Bend your knees and flex your ankles. Bring your heels together to touch. So it's not flat of foot together. That could also work. Whatever's touching in the middle though, make sure it's squeezing on purpose, because that might be enough. Hips down to the ground, knees wide, and squeeze your heels together. You might turn your inner thighs on, bottom butt on, maybe your hamstrings and glutes, higher glutes. If that doesn't turn those additional things on, you can drop your upper body down a little bit so that it can lift your legs up as you're squeezing them. Outer hips, bottom butt, hamstrings, everything in the back of your legs turning on and sides of your legs. Good. And then relax. Prop yourself back up. Back to Sphinx pose. When you do that, I don't know if you can see, but squeeze your quads and your glutes so that your kneecaps lift up. Even though the tops of your feet are down, your legs are very active. Then lower your chest a little bit. Bend your knees, bring it back to that froggy leg squeezed position. And maybe you're just staying low with the legs and squeezing, and that's enough. Or if you want to lift your legs, lift your legs. And then lower. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Press up and onto all fours. Modified side planks with your left leg back and long, and your right knee underneath your right hip. Make sure that you take that right foot and kickstand it behind you. Stack up, push your hips toward the long left edge of your mat. Lean your upper body back so that you feel a stretch through your side. Then take that top arm up on your inhale, stay for your exhale. Inhale, swoop your left arm forward, get a little longer through your left side. And then bring it back around, pivot. Left leg straight out to the left. Sit yourself back as much as feels good. This left leg is active. Good, bring it back forward. Slide your left knee back underneath you. Let's go ahead, puppy pose again, so both knees wide. Sway your back like a cow pose. Stretch your arms long, drop your head down. Inhale, lift your gaze, look forward, slide yourself forward, and bring your hips forward and down. Let's go with Sphinx core. So bring your palms together out in front of you, interlace your fingers. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders, and you're starting in this hips down position. So let's do this. We'll go back and forth with it. Press down through your forearms, outside of your wrists. Look straight down. Lift your hips up with your tailbone tucked underneath you. So until you feel your core turn on. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, you'll lower down with the hips, lift your gaze. Inhale at the top, exhale, reverse, push down into the core position. Inhale, drop your hips, lift your gaze. Exhale, drop your head, lift your hips. Back and forth like that. Siri, why are you doing what you're doing? Stop. Come here, Siri. Leave my plant alone. This time when you go down, stay down. Take your hands out in front of you. Again, if you're close to the front edge of your mat, you can grab the front edge of your mat with your hands, engage your legs, your butt, and lift up higher. Straight elbows, straight to stretch out your core. You can let your head hang or have your gaze up to you. Drop your elbows down. Cross your right arm. So my elbow is still under my right shoulder, but I've taken my forearm to a diagonal so that I'm a little bit more cross-body supported. From here, if you need to roll to the right to stack up so that you can grab your knee, then do that. But if you can stay down, bend your knee and grab your ankle, left hand to left ankle, then do it like that instead. From there, if you'll notice I went first with the thumb down position, and you can just work on rolling your shoulder open. You can work on kicking here. If that's not enough in the shoulder, then you can turn your palm thumb up, go to the inside of your ankle, and do those same things. It's going to be more lat intensive and more shoulder external rotation intensive. If you need more quad and you have the space, you can bend your elbow and pull your foot into the crook of your elbow and support more heel to butt. Normally I could do one more level than that, but I think my shoulders are too tight right now. I don't think I should try to show you the progression one more. So there is another progression from here. We'll save it for another day. All right, release on this side, and then we'll just do straight to the other side. So you'll leave your left elbow underneath your left shoulder, but you'll diagonal your forearm from the left to the right. And then again, if you need to roll side to get the connection, do. If you can keep both hips down, do that instead. Reach back with your right hand, bend your right knee, and catch a hold of your outer ankle with your right hand. If you find you need more shoulder stretch, instead of going thumb down to the outside of your ankle, you can go thumb up to the inside of your ankle and kick more. If you need more quad stretch, pull your foot into the crook of your elbow and your heel toward your butt more. And then slowly release. Bring your hands both back underneath you. Take a big breath in, and then push yourself up and back to child's pose, any version of child's pose that works for you. Walk both of your hands to the left and put your right hand on top of your left hand, and then your head through your arms. Sort of push your right hip back and down toward your right heel in order to get the side stretch. You want some level of side stretch here along your right side. Then exhale through the middle to the other side. Release to the middle and find your way into downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Let's go with like this. Step your right foot in between your hands, warrior two. So your heel to arch alignment in warrior two. Right heel, left arch. With a deep bend in your right knee. Okay. From here, take your right arm under your left arm over and give yourself a hug.
Maybe that's enough for the shoulders. If you want more, you can go eagle arms, palm to palm with it, twisted through your forearms, right? You're gonna aim your belly button back forward-ish, lift your elbows up on your breath in, and then on your exhale, stay strong through your legs and dive down. Let your head go, let your fingertips go. You can do this too, even if you're just giving yourself that initial hug. Release the twist while you're down here. Take a breath in with your arms long. On your exhale, crawl yourself over to your left leg. Turn your left toes a little bit out and bring your right toes a little bit forward instead of pointing way out to the side. You can sit here in this side lunge as deep or as low as feels good. You want integration through this right leg, so if you're feeling nothing but stretch, it might be too much. Shift your weight to the middle between your legs with your heels a little in. You might need to adjust your toes out and sit down. Bring your hands up to your knees for goddess. This is a little wide for me. I'm going to go narrower. Okay, so my hands are on my knees. I'm going to take my left fingers and rotate them to the inside of my left knee. I'm going to roll that shoulder forward and keep rolling it forward and then look to the right. And then I'm just gonna kind of sit into it, explore how that feels. For me, letting my head hang feels best. That's not a guarantee that it will feel the best for you to do that though. Lift up to the middle and rotate your fingers back. Go ahead and stand all the way up with it to give your legs a break. Whew. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms, sit back into it, bring your hands back to your knees, and you'll rotate your right fingers in. Let your right elbow fall forward, let your head turn to the left. Siri. Rotate back to the middle, stand all the way up with it. Lift both arms up, breathe in. Exhale, turn back to the front. Warrior two, heel to arch alignment again. Inhale, reverse, drop your left arm down and your right arm up and back. And then exhale, extended side angle, drop your right elbow to your right knee, get long through your left arm forward. Inhale into that length. And let's go, exhale your left hand to the ground, spin your left heel up, and fold yourself forward over your right leg-ish. Right, notice I've kind of got a long spine here, and my back heel is lifted. So you can go a little bit back and forth between your two legs to adjust and find what feels the best to stretch out your front leg hamstrings, the back of your front leg, and then just hold. Doesn't ever have to get to a full pyramid pose. You can leave that back heel lifted. Inhale, look forward, walk your hands forward of your right foot, step your 2 feet together at the top of your mat, and fold over your legs. Half lift inhale, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Plank on your inhale.
Exhale, slowly lower. Cobra, breathe in. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Hey, Borian, finish up in there. Brush your teeth, get in pajamas. Downward facing dog. From there, inhale, look forward, step your left foot forward. I'm gonna switch sides so I can stay facing the screen. Warrior 2, other side. So heel to arch alignment. And the right toes point straight out to the one side, and your left toes point straight forward to the front edge of your mat. All right, arms out. This time, you'll bring your left arm under your right arm and give yourself a hug. Lift up, inhale, dive forward with the hug on your exhale, or fully double wrap with the forearms twisting, palms together. Lift your elbows up, and then exhale with your belly button pointing at a diagonal. Lean forward to the inside of your left leg. Let your head go. Let your fingertips go. Release the twist of your arms. Breathe in, look forward. Exhale, side lunge. Take your toes with you as you sit into your right leg. Get long through your left leg. And then shift to the middle this time. Turn both of your toes in pigeon toes. So go as narrow as you need to in order to feel like you're not going to slip on your mat when you do that. Halfway lift. Use a block if you need to between your hands to find a good half lifted position. Lengthen your spine and rock your way into your forefoot, pigeon toed. Inhale. And then exhale, take it forward as much as feels good. I'm going to go ahead and grab for the outside edges of my feet here and keep my weight rocked forward into my forefoot as I hinge forward. If you find you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Take big breaths into your upper back. Then come on back to that half lifted position. Inhale, exhale, pivot back forward into warrior 2. Bend your left knee. Reverse breathe in. Exhale your left elbow onto your left thigh. Up with your right arm, inhale, and then forward to get more length through your right side. Exhale, swivel your right hand and then your left hand down. Pivot your back heel up. Spread your toes wide. You can see your toes if you look back, and this is a good position to make sure that they're all squared up to the front. And then from there, you can rock a little forward and backward between your two legs, so you can adjust to find where it feels good to get a stretch in the back of your left leg here. When you do, hang out, let your head drop down lower. Feel free to keep that back heel up. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your feet together at the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Sorry, Siri, excuse me. Plant your hands. Step back to plank pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, slowly lower. And, whew. So let's do this. You're gonna have to move, Siri. You're in the least opportune spots, like every single, go. You're gonna take your right arm out to the right. No, it's not back here, right? So it's really quite 90 degrees, or maybe even a little further forward than 90 degrees, so you have plenty of clearance at your chest. And let's talk about that a little bit further. Specifically, this is like a seam on my shirt right here between the arm and the chest part of the shirt. And that would be like your body kind of has a seam right there too, between your chest and your shoulder. That would be like the pec minor muscles, anterior delt muscles. Like that's the area specifically. Right? The center of the seam would be the center of the part that you want sort of melting down to the ground. However, what ends up happening is almost like a little gap will form there as you're stretching your arm out if you don't stretch it out far enough. Or if you're tight, short in the pec, major pec minor, that little joint will have a gap. So you're looking to melt it out flat to 180 there if you're tight. Oh God. Okay. So this is where I start to have a little gap, and the further out I go, it melts down easier. So that's what you're going for. Then look over to your left and slowly and gingerly start to roll and stack your left side over your right side until you get a stretch. For me, it's also a kindness for my body to grab. I'm trying to do it with my feet. Grab a block and stick it somewhere between my legs to keep the spacing of that top femur correct in relation to the center of my hip capsule. If I have my legs together, there's a good chance that left hip wants to collapse a little bit, and I'm not hypermobile, but I have some instability in that, in my left side, in the left shoulder, and in my left hip. So this is how I get around that. Some people can put their foot flat on the ground, knee up to the ceiling, like bridge pose. When I'm more open, I can do that. I'm not super open right now. Again, just really locked down from a big workout I did yesterday. So instead of cranking into things, I'm just gonna take the less is more approach. Hi, Norway. So activations wise, the back of your shoulders are turning on here, and the front of your right shoulder specifically is getting a nice passive stretch. This would be like an A position. There's a B position as well, so let's roll back to your belly. Oh my gosh, my quads. Oh, everything's tight. Okay. Look at your right hand, give me a hitchhiker thumb with your right thumb, and then you're going to turn that thumb down to the ground, and then you're going to roll your thumb backward and let the whole shoulder roll forward when you're doing that. Then you'll just roll back and stack your left side over your right side. So look to the left, stack left side over right side, tuck your chin. You might feel this more in the top of your shoulder or the front of your shoulder. Roll on back to the center. Prop yourself up on your left elbow. Slide your right arm underneath you. And then lay down on it slowly. Hello, Siri. Now, if you're tight like I am, you might want to block under your forehead. Because normally I could be completely smashed down on this arm and it would not be a problem. But right now I'm so pumpy still that it's gonna take a minute to relax. So my right arm is all the way underneath me from the right to the left, and I've got my left arm forward, but I'm not using it to prop myself up. I actually want to get rid of that gap between my left shoulder and the ground. So I think I'm actually open enough now that I can take my left arm down by my side, and when I do that, I'm just gonna let that left shoulder rotate down. I can get rid of this block now and put more weight down on my right arm. This is more of a smash. This is a compression paradigm. So you're squeezing the tight muscles in the front of your chest, and you are stretching the muscles in the back of your right shoulder. All right, slowly release, and now we'll do those 3 positions with your left arm. Change positions, so here. We're done standing, so if you took your socks off and you want the back arch of your feet are cold like mine are, you can slide them back on while we're transitioning here. Otherwise, you're gonna extend your left arm out to the left. Your right hand is planted underneath your right shoulder. You're trying to slide out enough that that intersection in the front of your left arm is melted down, and then you stack your right side over your left side. Roll onto your belly. Hitchhiker your left thumb. Turn your thumb down and then back. Let your whole left shoulder roll forward and then re-stack it up. Right side over left side. You can tuck your chin a little bit more here. Roll onto your belly. Prop yourself up on your right elbow and thread your left arm underneath you to the right and lay down on it as much as possible. Start maybe with your right arm forward, maybe your right arm forward and a block underneath your forehead. If you can drop your right arm by your side, go ahead and do that. Let that right shoulder melt down and put more weight down on your chest on the left side. Lift your head up a little, look to the right, roll to the left until you're on your back, and then grab a prop, a block. We did this, I think, last time, where you put the thing underneath your shoulders. I'm gonna go ahead on the medium setting. You want it high, middle of your ribs up to the top of your shoulders so that your head falls off. It's not supported, which means if you need a second block for your head, use it, or put your block on the lower setting, or use a softer thing. Arms not below, but really very perpendicular to your trunk. I need to go ahead and sway my back a little more, like cow pose, to get the most out of this. This is your supported fish. You can do anything that's comfortable with your legs. I'm just gonna let mine flop for now. And focus on the opening across my chest as I slowly breathe and try to fill up all the little nooks and crannies in between my ribs, underneath my armpits, in my throat, and the top of my chest as I breathe in and soften all that on my exhale. You're welcome to stay like this. If you want to finish with a little bit more of a neck and upper shoulder emphasis, lift up, and you'll take your block with you and put it on like probably the medium setting and get the edge of the block, not the flat of your block, but the corner of your block at the back of your head in a muscle at the base of your skull. Kind of pull the muscle up. So pull the muscle toward the top of your head with the block, and then slide your shoulders down toward your hips. So there's just a teeniest little bit of pull in opposite direction of the skin on the back of your neck, and then just relax. All right, go ahead and take the block out from underneath your head and lay yourself down and spend the next minute and a half in Shavasana. Eyes closed, if that's comfortable for you. Let your bones be heavy and try to take up space to make yourself as comfortable as possible as you lay here. Bring a little movement back into your body. And as it feels good, you can make your way up to a comfortable seat. If you set an intention for your practice, this is a time to check back in with it. Otherwise, you are checking in with how you feel in your body and just noticing any shifts and changes after practicing for an hour. And we'll close it out with a cleansing breath. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a moment to go in, let your old air out, and then breathe deeply in through your nose, hold it in at the top. Open up your mouth. Let it go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you in the den.